guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about formula basics. Whenever you want to add any formula in your Excel workbook, so you have to keep remember these all steps which are showing on my system on my screen. Okay, so the first one is start with equal sign. Alternatively, you can use plus or minus sign as well, but I always recommend you to use equal sign. Then function or formula name. Third one, after adding formula name, you have to open the bracket. Then the fourth one, you need to pass the arguments to be work that formula. Then obviously the closing bracket. Okay. So what are the parameters and arguments? So we are going to talk about that in next 2 minutes. So let's see first these basic formulas in practically in Excel. Okay. So as we have the steps, we can use equal sign and type formula. So we'll get the formula list here. Okay. The same way, if I want to start with plus sign, so and if I use the sum, if I want to add some formula, so I can add that as well. And the same if I want to start with minus, and if I want to add the sum function, so I can add that as well. So this is how you can use plus, minus and equal signs to a formula get added in your Excel workbook. So as I told you, I always recommend you to use equal sign. Okay. Then equal sign, then for formula or function name, then open bracket, then these are the arguments. So we have to pass arguments, and then we can close the bracket. So these are the basic steps. Start with equal sign, then formula name, open bracket, pass the argument, and closing the bracket. So this is a formula work perfectly fine. Okay. So what are the arguments? The arguments are nothing but whenever you see here, if I want to add any formula, so the number 1, number 2, these all are the arguments. Okay. So number 1 is not in square bracket, number 2 is in square bracket. Okay. So the arguments which are in the square bracket, those all are optional, and the numbers which are not in square bracket, those numbers or those arguments are mandatory. Mandatory means you must have to provide those arguments to the formula to be work. Okay. So let's see what are the arguments and how can we use it. Okay. So as I told you, like the mandate or parameters which are not in the square bracket, we have to provide to work that formula, and optional will be shown in the square bracket. Okay. So these are the two kind of arguments. So if you take find, so you can see find text, and within text are not in the square bracket, but start number is in square bracket. Okay. So that's how you can easily identify which arguments are optional and which are not optional. Okay. Then what can you use in parameters? So as a parameter, how many kind of thing we can use in a formula? We can use cell reference as argument or parameters, numbers as the parameters, text also we can use as a parameter, and we can also use name as a reference or parameters. So we'll see one by one. So cell reference is simple. So you must have used those. Like if I want to refer the cell, so I can take this cell reference. Okay. So I can pass this argument as a cell reference. After that, it is saying you can use numbers as well as arguments. So for using numbers, type them directly into the formula. So I can directly type after adding comma, so I can directly type the number, and I will close this Okay, so that's how you can pass the argument. So if you want to pass numbers, so you can directly pass into the formula and it will be get added. Okay, the same way you can pass the text in the formula as well, but here it is says type it within double inverted commas. So whatever text you are passing, you have to type within double inverted commas. For example, if I want to concatenate my first and last name, so I can use concatenate or formula, and you see here text 1 is mandatory and text 2 is optional. So if I have to pass my name in double inverted comma space Rathod in double inverted comma, and then I have to close the bracket. Then and then only this concatenate function will work. So you see here, if I try to add the name, first name and last name without double inverted comma, so it will not work. So here, see here, I'm typing Rajkumar, then space, then Rathod. So it will not work. The result is getting error. Okay, so this is very important whenever you are passing any text. So you should pass those in double inverted comma. The last one is you can also use name as a reference. So you can pass names as a parameter in the formula. So if you don't know what is names, how to rename any range, so you can watch my first video, so you will get to know the better understanding of names. Okay, let me add here some random numbers. And let me add the name to this particular range, test. And I can pass this test name. The name is got added here. You can see the name. So I can pass this name as an argument in the formula. For example, sum, and I can add test. So you can see the test is appearing here. You can double click to select that names, and you can close the bracket and hit enter. So the all numbers are calculated. This is 4235 is the sum of these all numbers. Okay, so this is how you can add, you can pass name as a argument in any formulas or parameters. Okay, the lastly we can use commas to separate the parameters. So if you want to like separate the parameters or arguments in formula, so we always use the commas. So you can see after every argument we have the comma. Okay, so this is how you can separate all the arguments using commas. Okay, hope you understood the concept. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.